As consumption is growing in our country, let us check if you should invest in consumption funds. First, let us see some facts. Number one, India's GDP per capita has grown fivefold this millennium from a modest $442 in the year 2000 to now it is 2696 in the year 2024. Number two, the affluent India, which means the people who are earning about $10,000, which means 8.5 lakhs per year, is also projected to grow from 60 million to 100 million by 2027. Number three, given India's 1.4 billion population, we assume that domestic demand has been and will remain a long term theme. In fact, a study by UBS Securities has shown that India is poised to become the third largest consumer market by 2026. So, how can investors get the best out of the consumption wave? One way is through consumption funds. These funds invest in consumption theme covering the consumer staples, the FMCG sectors, as well as technology, financial, industrials, healthcare, and real estate. If you notice these funds, consumer discretionary and consumer staples dominate these funds portfolio and they have over 60% share in these funds. Some funds have more exposure to consumer discretionary. Now, what is consumer discretionary? Consumer discretionary refers to companies that sell goods and services that people want but they don't necessarily need it. It covers a wide variety of industries, for example, automobiles, hotels, restaurants, leisure products such as sporting goods, camping equipment and toys, video games, housing furniture stores, jewelers, textiles and apparels, and luxury goods. The consumers don't need them, but they buy it because they want them. Now, what are consumer staples? Consumer staples are essential items that are part of most consumer daily needs like food, medicines, beverages, household care products, personal care, hygiene products, educational products, housing, etc. So these are called consumer staples. Now let's check some numbers. How have consumption funds fared in the past? This category has given an average return of 22.42% per annum in the last 5 years. So the long term performance looks good. Based on the 5-year rolling return over the last 10 years, consumption funds outperformed flexi cap funds 90% of the time and the Nifty 500 TRI 72% of the time. Consumption funds also endure bearish phases better than flexi cap funds and the benchmark, as seen in this table. This is because some one third of their money is in consumer staples, which typically remain stable during crashes, resulting in smaller declines. So now the question is, should you invest in consumption funds? It is always advisable to have a diversified portfolio. Consumption funds come with a certain drawbacks also. First, they face concentration risk as the top three sectors comprise 77% of their portfolio. Second, two-thirds of their weightage is in sectors that are cyclical in nature. Thus, take a limited exposure to these funds. You can take up to a maximum of 10% exposure to consumption funds. So make better choices. Happy investing.